When you meet a Caleb Odiyo, you'll be amazed at how confident he is to become so competent in his pursuits because he's learned how to cope and develop his character to maximize his potential in various sports for persons living with disabilities. And that is what resilience is all about.
Basically, it's dedication and trusting in God and always keep praying and working very hard.
He was a blessed to have a supporter system right from home, which has played a big role in his development.
I got polio at the age of 4 years. When my mom realized that I couldn't walk. So I've been like that until I think class 4 when I went for an operation, at least to make my leg a bit straight. And I used the caliper, went to Joytown Primary. Then I later went to Mombasa Secondary School and later joined Kenya Polytechnic. One key thing about my life as a person with disability is my parents. They've been so vital in my upbringing. They've always supported me and made sure that my sibling supported me in my course. Even when I joined sport, to some it felt like you are wasting your time. There's no sports for person with disability. But my parents supported me all the way. Yes, so what I would like to encourage parents is just give your child an opportunity. You never know. Currently, we have professional person with disability who are doing sport. They are professional. So if they're given an opportunity, who knows, they might end up very far.
And when he watched his brother play basketball, he was inspired with the NBA adding fuel to his ambitions.
I used to like watching my brother play basketball. So one day he called me and we went and tried to shoot some hoops. And I got interested, and from there I picked it on. Till today, I'm still playing sports. I used to love watching NBA. So I felt like maybe I could play, but the fact that I had a disability, it limited me. Only for one day to later watch it on TV that there is wheelchair basketball in Kenya. And I was so interested and I joined.
Caleb is now a renowned player in the Kenya wheelchair basketball circles, which has seen him extend his talent beyond the region.
Wheelchair basketball basically has taken me to so many countries like it was in Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, South Africa several times. Majority of the championships I have been named as one of the most valuable player in like 3 tournaments. I've been MVP in World Cup qualifiers. That was in Algeria, and I remember Kenya came 3rd position. I was in an MVP in South Africa tournament. It was African qualifiers for the World Cup, and Kenya we came 4th position, and in Algiers in 2007 we came 4th. I was also named the most valuable player in the tournament.
He's a good shooter who'll stop at nothing to give it all to realize his goals.
I'm very proud of that because we've been me and Coach Andrew and Coach Gumbi have been working out on my shooting skills, and I'm glad. Even in the recent championship, I managed to score around 20 baskets in one match, which is something very good.
And that is not all, as he has excelled in para-athletics too, notably the marathon, where he's a constant competitor in the local scene.
Last year, I won the Beyond Zero marathon. I came first. I think 2019, I finished 2nd in the Standard Chartered Marathon. Last year, I finished 5th, which is sad. I'm looking forward to working on it. I have to claim my trophy. Yeah.
It's not harder to combine the 2 sports, as he's very agile and adaptive to any situation.
It's all rounds up to the physical nature of an athlete. Because you find that in wheelchair basketball and in wheelchair tennis, you get to do a lot of running around. So when you use that, you find that you can do well in marathons because, for example, in wheelchair tennis, we get to the court like by 10:30, and we finish around 3. All that time, it's all about chasing the ball here and there. So when you combine the hours, you put them into marathon, you see that maybe you can be somewhere in a good position.
The true sportsman hasn't limited himself to the two sports and also ventured into wheelchair tennis, where his skills have come in handy.
I remember the first time wheelchair tennis was introduced, there is a coach who saw me and told me that he can use my wheeling skills in tennis. So he gave me a racket and that was it. We came into tennis. At some point I was seed number 1 for Kenya for like, I think it was around 2 years. And then later more players came in and the competition was stiff and they managed to overhaul my seed 1 and I accepted the challenge. But for now, I'm glad I'm back in wheelchair tennis and I'm looking forward to giving them a challenge. Most memorable is the championship, wheelchair basketball championship in South Africa. When I got the most valuable player, I couldn't believe that I could make that big stage. And the other one is in wheelchair tennis, being the first male Kenyan to win a match in Kenya. The first match I played against an Egyptian and I won 3 sets to 2. The match went for like 3 hours. Let me say I love sport because of one reason. There was a time when Corona came. I was seriously sick. And I went to the doctors. I remember it was here in Kenyatta. I did almost like 20 tests, and all the tests came out negative. So there's one doctor who told me there's something that you're doing which is not normal. I later came to realize that I had stopped doing all sports and I concentrated only in wheelchair basketball. So in terms of my health, it went from good to worse. So once I realized that, I had to force myself to come back into all the sports I was doing because I remember it last year, it was the first time I finished 5th in the Standard Chartered Marathon. I've been finishing from position 1 to 3, but because I decided to stop all the sports, I finished 5th. So I just decided I need to get back, I need to get my body back to shape, and here I am.
And if you think that's all, then you have no idea how far I can go with his pursuits, as he's also in the forefront of introducing wheelchair rugby too.
I registered wheelchair rugby. Basically, wheelchair rugby is centered around severe disabilities. People with disability who you will never get to see playing wheelchair basketball, wheelchair tennis, or these other events. Because majority of them are spinal case injuries and multiple disabilities, like maybe loss of arm, a leg, and either 3 or 4 kind of disabilities. So I'm trying to give an opportunity to people who are left out. Yes.
All in all, he doesn't let his tribulations and disability define him and is more focused than ever to continue doing what he loves most.
Next is to get into shape, see where the future is taking me. But one thing that I'm not stopping now is playing wheelchair tennis and wheelchair basketball and the marathon. Yes, I'll be there.
Caleb Odiyo is an outstanding sportsman who has been able to overcome his disability to succeed in wheelchair basketball, tennis, and the marathon, and he still has room for more. Isn't that a blessing?
My life has been wonderful, and I thank God for everything. I can't believe I'm here today, because looking at my path, the challenges that I've gone through, I'm glad and I'm happy that I have a disability and I can walk tall with my disability.
On the sidelines, he also champions for the rights of persons living with the disabilities and looks forward to the day when all public service vehicles will be easily accessible to them.
There was one initiative that I think the guys of, I think, 145, they started to remove some seats in certain vehicles, which was a big plus. I think if NTSA would insist, first we start with the vehicles that we know, like the KBS, the city hoppers, then I think all the other guys would catch up. In most of the PSV, you find most of the wheelchairs can't go in. So that means a person on a wheelchair has to get out or has to be carried into the bus, and maybe if his wheelchair or her wheelchair is not affordable, it means the wheelchair is being kept maybe under the boot or up there. And personally, I used to have a caliper. If you mess with my caliper, basically you're messing with my life. So I imagine a person on a wheelchair, if you put his wheelchair on top of the bus, he won't be comfortable because he's not sure if his wheelchair is safe. So if we could provide ramps and maybe make the doors a bit big for the wheelchairs to get in, it would be a big plus. The parting shot maybe is to thank you personally, KBC, for what you guys have been doing. You've been trying very much to support persons with disabilities. Even in most of your shows, I've seen presenters with disabilities, which is a big plus, and thank you for that.